You're listening to the Smash Bros. Cast, episode 26. I'm your host, N64 Josh, player 2, and my sparring partner, Nightcrawler. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How the heck are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. We're staying busy in this house, so yeah. That's for sure.
You playing lots of Smash this week?
I got a few times in. Not as much as you.
Dude.
Every morning.
Every morning.
Hitting the grindstone.
Coffee and Smash. It's the lifestyle, I'm telling you.
That Ryu had your number this morning though.
A lot of people do, and it's good. I literally just fight them, and I fight frustration because I'm like, I know I can get better. And then I do, and then I'll finally run into somebody that's not. I don't know how they could be worse than me, but they are somehow, and then all is right in the world again. But no, I've been loving it. I've been loving just seeing improvement. It's been very, very helpful. So, I think it's time for our countdown to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
All right, today is September 14th, and we are 83 days away with change until midnight when Smash comes out. It's getting closer. 7 days closer.
I think the only thing that's helped this week is it started raining, and it feels like fall is slowly getting here, which means we're getting closer and closer.
You have rain. It's been like 90 here.
Oh yeah, no, it's so. But and then we get, we got some stuff. It's interesting. We're gonna get teased really, really bad come November 2nd, but we'll get to it. Before we do, guys, if you want to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/SBC. There you can grab something like Ready Player One or Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. It's good stuff. That's audibletrial.com/SBC. All right, Smash news. Dreamhack was last weekend. The results, Melee. Who are our top three?
Taking third, we had None. Playing Captain Falcon and Ganondorf. Second was La Luna playing Marth. And taken, I probably just shaking off some of those cobwebs, I guess, that he had at, was that Super Smash Con? Hungrybox takes the win at Dreamhack playing Jigglypuff.
There you go. And for Smash Bros, Super Smash Bros for Wii U, we had...
you want it?
Nope.
You got it. Nope. All right. Taking third, we had MVD playing Diddy Kong, Ally playing Mario, took second, and then Larry Lurr was able to win playing Fox.
There you go. And as I was looking through, I don't think Larry lost. I think he was kind of.
He took it on not dropping a bracket though.
I think that was the case. I checked it earlier in the week and hadn't gone back to look, but. I think he was on fire. The
website I was on just had the results. I didn't see the brackets or anything. So
yeah,
I did try to look in on it. Were you able to watch any of it? I know Dreamhack had a lot of different. They had Dragon Ball Fighter Z and what else? They had Street Fighter V. So they had multiple games going on. I didn't actually catch anything live. I haven't gone back and watched anything yet either. But I know that there was lots going on.
I saw some tweets from Vicky Kitty that she took like 50th. And
I saw that as well.
Was actually stoked because she got to play a bunch of Smash Ultimate. And other than that, I didn't get to catch any of it live. But there were a lot of tweets coming out of people showing video of different things in Ultimate, like talking about like, hey, it looks like Kirby may be able to combo out of his down B and different things like that. Like there was just some different things coming out of Dreamhack that were pretty cool to see. And speaking of Vicky Kitty, guys, I want you to get hyped because she's going to be joining us next week. If you're not familiar with her, she's the commentator who did. She was one of the commentators for E3 for Nintendo for the Super Smash Bros. Invitational, right? I believe that's what it was called.
Yep.
And so she is very good at Smash. She's an excellent commentator, and we've had the honor of interviewing her before for my other podcast. And
if you guys want to check out, get a sneak preview, I just looked up what episode it was. Episode 108 of the Nintendo Powercast. Josh and I interviewed Vicky Kitty back then, talking about E3 a little bit as well.
Yeah, and she knows how to bring the hype to a show. So there's going to be some promo material going out, so I want you guys to help me out here. If you see the promo, hit that retweet button, share it with your friends, Reddit, wherever. Like, I want to see this thing blow up, because she's pretty rad. And she hadn't played Super Metroid. And when she was on that podcast with us, I was like, you got to play Super Metroid. Like, you got to play through it. And she said she would. She rolled credits on it this week. She
a quarter second to spare.
Yeah. So, but I'm really, really excited for that. So we'll be chatting with her next week. And it's been a good week for Smash Bros. News. It's been a good week. We had a direct yesterday, and who's our new character? Everybody on the internet said it was going to be.
I thought it was going to be Rex and Pyra.
Oh, see, everybody I kept seeing was everybody kept saying that their uncle from Nintendo said it was going to be Skull Kid.
Yeah, I mean, that's because Reggie had a Skull Kid statue on his desk for the Diablo reveal. I mean, that's about as good as the two chairs in the Smash Direct. So,
right.
But I mean, getting to our point, Isabelle is coming to Smash.
Mm-hmm.
So get hyped for that. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I mean, everyone keeps teasing characters that they think we're going to get. I think it's almost a foregone conclusion. You and I were talking earlier this week that you were looking up the direct schedule from last year with game releases and when they had directs and when indies had directs and when we had a general direct. And then you mentioned that was it November that Xenoblade Chronicles had their very own direct, and I think that game absolutely needed it, and it went in kind of the battle system and all that kind of stuff that game had. But there was lots to discuss, and they had their own direct, and that lined up with that was a early December release, which Smash is, and they had their own direct in sometime in November, right? You said end of November, I think, right?
Yeah, it was the end of November.
So I mean, I'm pretty confident that we're going to have at least one more Smash only direct. And if you look back at what we had, was that just last month? I don't even remember how long ago that was that we've had so many directs, I feel like, in the last month, 2 months.
Yeah, it was last month.
Yeah, so we got 5 characters, I think, announced?
I believe it was close to that, yeah.
I think we're at least going to get that many again. And then who knows I think maybe Microsoft might be involved with this Smash Direct, or maybe Waluigi teased at the very end. You never know. So
the only thing that I'm hesitant to say, yes, I agree 100%, as you were saying it, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. We've already had a strictly Smash Direct. I'm wondering if this Direct will be heavily Smash focused, but then give us a little more info about some of those early January, February games also.
But do we need to see more about New Super Mario Brothers?
I don't necessarily think that we do, you know? So that's just it. I think it would be a first that we see two full directs for one game. But maybe they do
it's a big game though.
And
it's at least 16 gigs and all that music and all those stages and
like you said, if somebody like Microsoft's involved, who knows? If we see Banjo, you know, we see
Joanna Dark, maybe
Steve from Minecraft, you know, like I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, when we saw a Switch controller and an Xbox controller in the same commercial for Minecraft, it was like, oh wow, okay, yeah, like, and I'm pretty sure Minecraft sells. I mean, they're doing a Minecraft DS, right? I think everybody's getting along just fine. I think they're getting along just fine.
Unless your name starts with an S and ends in a Y.
And ends in an Oni. So this direct brought Isabelle. She is different enough to be her own character and not just an echo of the villager, which it seems like the internet seems pretty surprised by this, especially because when you looked at her moveset, they all kind of seemed like very similar,
Yeah.
As far as she's dropping is it like a pot or something that's just like his bowling ball that he drops?
Yeah, I need to go back and I've watched the direct twice now, but I need to go back and on the Smash blog they have just the announcement with kind of the clips of her. I kind of need to go back through and watch it a few more times to try to catch some stuff. But I know she has a party popper, I think, kind of probably closely resembling the fireworks that Villager has. I mean, but it looks like the direction on it might not be up; it might be forward. So that could change some things a little bit on how she plays. I don't know. But she does have a balloon swing to sit on, so very similar to like the balloon fight balloons that Villager uses to for his up B. The biggest difference I have on here on our notes comparing Lucas to Ness is I think a good comparison, that they're different enough that I forget who put that in the Discord that they were kind of comparing that. But then also like Falco and Fox are a lot very similar. I'm kind of surprised we didn't have echoes back when Falco came out, but Lucas has the snake, which just changes his recovery and his range as well a little bit, and Isabelle has the fishing rod. So I think that is the best comparison, is Lucas to Ness, is Isabelle to Villager.
And we're going to talk about it a little bit more in our talking points, because there's some just some interesting topics to grab from the fact that she's not just an Echo fighter. So, but we will get into that a little bit later. The Super Smash Bros. Switch bundle is coming out. That picture we saw was legit, which I mean, I kind of thought it was too. Right, and then once Pokemon was announced and it had the box like almost matched identically, it was like, I'm pretty sure we were pretty confident. And but a little bit strange. When's it coming out?
It's coming out in November 2nd. So yeah, that raised a lot of question marks, I think, after the direct yesterday.
With a download code.
Yes, so you can pre-install all 16 gigs of that game, so you don't have to wait. Which I think that's great, because it takes away a little bit for this bundle appeals to the hardcore. So Nintendo's banking on you double dipping, because you don't get the physical game, you don't get the Pro Controller, you don't get the Steelbook, all that kind of stuff. You don't get the GameCube adapter, you don't get the controller. So there's stuff to go back and get on release night, but not. Side note as well, the GameCube controller and adapters are coming out on November 2nd as well. I got my update from Best Buy. I believe you probably did as well. That the release date has changed for that. So the Switch bundle, the GameCube adapter, and the GameCube controllers. I don't think we've heard anything about the Pro Controller, but you and I are both getting our Pro Controller through the bundle, so that's on launch night as well. But there's a lot of stuff peripheral-wise that's coming out on this date. So that's maybe hinting towards something, but I sidetracked myself. So going back, the November 2nd release kind of takes away a little bit from just the pomp and circumstance of a release night. Midnight launches, they aren't as common anymore, but I'm pretty sure this game is going to have it at like Best Buy, GameStops, all that kind of stuff. It's exciting, fun to be around all sorts of people that are just excited about the game as you are. I don't see them having a midnight kind of release for these consoles or the peripherals. They're just going to be there at 10 a.m., 9 a.m., whenever the store opens for you that day for you to go pick up. So, I mean, it's going to be, unless you're double dipping and you're going back to get the physical game or something else, then you're kind of just sitting at home waiting for it to go live, which I guess is fun, but there is that experience to be had as well.
Yeah, and I know like my GameStop when they when Super Smash when Smash Bros for the Wii U came out, they went to an off-site location after the store closed and did a tournament until midnight. And then everybody went, and then they actually brought the games to the off-site location and handed them out to everybody that had finalized. And so
Yeah, I've been at I don't remember what games I've been to a few, but I've been to my Best Buy that I tend to get everything from is the largest kind of in the area, so they tend to have some good incentives sometimes on those midnight releases. I remember one or two times they've had one of those like party trailers that have all the consoles and TVs and stuff in it, like that somebody takes around for like a party, for a kids party or something like that. Mm-hmm. They had that there, and they were letting people play the game. I think it was like one of the Battlefields probably. So we were playing the game a little bit out in the parking lot before they were allowed to get in. And now it's a little bit different as well, that you don't have to wait till midnight your own time to get the game. You and I get a little bit of an advantage than the East Coasters with 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock respectively. But
sure. So let's break down what this Switch looks like. You've got the dock that has like the original fighters on either side, and then the dock looks cool. Don't get me wrong, but then you've got these Joy-Cons that literally are just gray Joy-Cons with like a white stripe running through them, so they make up the logo. And a lot of people online are kind of like, these are kind of boring, you know. Me included. Addison from chat, it's like, it would have been cool if they had done like black and white, you know, or even two white Joy-Cons. It would have looked really clean, especially next to the artwork. Instead, you've got the gray with just the line through it. So, you know, and here's what we do know, that the Pokemon bundle you can get just the Joy-Cons and the dock by importing them. You don't have to buy the whole thing. So people are kind of hoping that will be the case on this one, that you won't have to buy the bundle if you don't want to. You could just import the dock if you want, or import the Joy-Cons as well. So, but I know as soon as my son saw it, he's like, that's what I want for Christmas. It's like, fair enough. Fair enough. So.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are both getting the Pro Controller in the bundle. I don't see many people playing Smash. I mean, handheld is going to be a thing if you're kind of just practicing or taking it on the go, but playing Joy-Cons in the grip, I don't think is going to be competitive at all either. So that's not a way to. It is a showpiece, but it's a poor showpiece for the Joy, at least Joy-Con wise. The dock is very cool. I just pulled up another picture of it because I wasn't sure if it was original 8 or original 12, but it is original 8. So that makes me think that maybe that is going to be the starting roster in Ultimate. They aren't going to include Falcon, Jigglypuff, Ness, and Luigi. Mm. So, but I mean, it's a showpiece, but I'm good with what I have pre-ordered already. I'm not super stoked on what they've shown us for that. I think they could have done more.
And I mean, you're not alone. There's a handful of people that are right there with you. So, last week after the Direct got canceled, everybody's dates for the controllers got moved to like September and then back to October. And it was all kind of, and obviously it was because they were just trying to figure out where to put these things, because they didn't, they didn't.
Well, there was a quick emergency email out to Best Buy, GameStop, and Amazon to be like, don't send out your updates, all that kind of stuff. Because yeah. I'm sure that's what it was. I'm the logistical nightmare that probably Nintendo had to go through to postpone this Direct a week was probably astronomical, just with websites that auto update. The eShop, that's how the Splatoon stuff leaked, was the eShop leaked. I think it was data mined or something with something for the Splatoon update, and I mean, all these retailers that they got to kind of try to keep tabs on for, they're keeping them in the loop on when stuff is changing. And then those pre-orders went live yesterday, right after the direct for all that stuff. So not only stuff that was already pre-ordered that has already been announced, but stuff that hadn't been announced that was going to be announced that was going to go live for everyone to go pre-order as well. So lots of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The last bit of news, let's see. Oh, let's talk about the little hint there.
So November 2nd so you and I both have GameCube adapters already. We already have our controllers and all that kind of stuff. So we're set up to play on our Switch with a GameCube controller if there were to be something that came out. But for maybe big majority of people that want to play this game, that want to use a GameCube controller or something else, or maybe even people that don't have a Switch, i.e. the bundle, is there something that could be coming out November 2nd that would make them need to have said peripherals? And I think that we are probably looking at an online server test, demo test, whatever, possibly even that weekend. November 2nd is a Friday, or we could see something possibly that next week. I mean, but that's, I think, the strongest indication that we're going to have something like that. So we had been kind of speculating that for a while now, but this kind of gives us a good window into when we think it might be.
Yeah, it really makes the most sense, the fact that adapter would be out and then the beta drops, so that everybody's like, because there's gonna be people that are like, I don't want to play this with the Joy-Cons, I don't want to play this with the Joy-Cons sideways, I don't want to play this with a Wiimote and a nunchuck, I want to play it with the GameCube controller. And so I would say my guess would be, okay, here's all your pre-orders. When that direct drops, they're gonna say the beta's coming, it's out now, something like that. That may be the case. So I like they're doing that. I mean, that's thinking ahead, honestly, because they want people to know what they're like. They want people to have their best experience even with the beta. And I hope we just melt those servers, right? I hope they are stressed to the max. And
oh yeah. I want to break it so we can't play it at some point, just so it gets broken when it's not out, and that way they can fix it for when it is out. Right. I mean, I know that's frustrating when you have a beta and you are all hyped about it, but I want it to melt. Like Aces was frustrating enough as it is, but I think that it ended up with the final product that they came out with a lot better, with the connection test pre-match and the opt-out if you wanted to, all that kind of stuff. I think they were able to see what the frustrations were with that tennis demo and make the end game better.
Yeah. And man, we really want lag to be a minor thing in this game so badly. We want to be able to run tournaments and stuff. So the Smash Bros. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is available at select Best Buys. We talked about that last week. I believe it happened in New York.
That was the first one.
The line was crazy, absolutely bonkers, right? And
yeah, I saw it all over Twitter. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. This game is hot right now. You know where it sits on Amazon for
I
top
believe
sellers?
It's number one for the year, isn't it?
It's. I'd have to check for the exact date or whatever, but I checked yesterday. I don't know what the if it was last 30 days or whatever. I don't know. It was at 17. Red Dead was at 31. I've seen some people,
and that's multi-platform.
I've seen some people tweeting that they think Smash is going to be bigger than Red Dead, with an install base that's what a quarter of what the PlayStation is, and then you have the Xbox as well.
Yeah, I mean they're looking to double their install base this year almost, I think, right? Because don't we have like 19 million Switches out in the wild, and they're hoping to sell 20 by the end of the year, like an additional 20.
I'm so confused on that verbiage.
Yeah, they're very vague about it.
I don't know if it's supposed to be 40 million total or 20 million total. Like, I'm just give me a.
I hope they're not only hoping to sell 1 million with, but who knows?
Yeah. Whatever it is, even analysts in Japan are forecasting that they're going to do it. So it's pretty crazy. The next thing is the Tailgate events, select college football games. Do you have much details on that? I was pulling up an article.
I know you wrote an article, didn't you, on your site?
Yeah, I have an article right here. And
I was going to get that link, but I figured you probably had it right there.
Yep, it's right here. So I'm just going to read you guys what came from Nintendo's PR department. It said, during select college football games this season, there might be rivalries playing inside and outside the stadium. Fans could see Mario versus Bowser, or Zelda versus Ganondorf, or Inklings versus Ridley, or frankly, any of the thousands of combinations that can be formed with a roster with more than 70 playable characters, or 70 playable fighters. That's because the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game for the Nintendo Switch system is heading to college campuses this fall to join some of the biggest tailgate parties of the season. So this is leading up to the launch, December 7th. They're going to have these tailgate parties going on. So I'll have a link in the show notes to this article on n64josh.com. But just to give you a quick rundown, September 22nd, Stanford at Oregon. October 6th, Alabama at Arkansas. October 13th, Wisconsin at Michigan. October 20th, Oklahoma at TCU. October 27th, Clemson at FSU. November 3rd, South Carolina at Ole Miss. November 10th, TCU at West Virginia. November 17th, Miami at Virginia Tech. November 24th, Michigan at Ohio State. And December 7th, the launch of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. January 1st, teams and location to be determined. So it's going to keep going past the launch.
Okay. So that makes that verbiage, that because if that verbiage came directly from Nintendo that you just read about the 70 plus characters, that makes a little more sense now, because the demo, I believe, is only 30 characters. And for them to broadcast that 70 with the thousands of combinations, but that makes more sense now that there's going to be an event after the game is out, because then they'll probably just put the full game in whatever kiosk they're bringing.
Yeah. So it does say the admission is free. Let's see. Admission is free and no age restrictions. For more information, visit smashbros.nintendo.com/event/college-tailgate-tour. So I'll have a link to the article. You guys can.
You just got to go add to the 80,000 plus people that are going to the football game.
There you go.
I think it'll be probably pretty crazy if you're. Well, these events are definitely going to draw people that aren't already going to a football game, that are just going to come out for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because the other thing is this is kind of not near some of the other Best Buy locations, right? It's kind of just spreading that net a little wider to allow people to get a chance to play.
Yeah, I mean that's the first thing I thought when I looked through the list, and I was like, oh, there's no games close to me that I could go to, but I have a Best Buy event to go to, and so do you. I mean, so these are for the people that don't have a Best Buy event taking place close to them.
Right. So we do have a question from the chat from Lego Lawyer. It says, do you think Smash will outsell Breath of the Wild or Odyssey? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it's going to probably be the top-selling Switch title for a while.
I think Nintendo thinks yes as well. I mean, people have complained about the weakness of the lineup leading up to this, especially if you're not a Smash fan. But Nintendo's, I mean, from what we've seen at E3, what we saw with an already dedicated Direct, what we're expecting to be another dedicated Direct, or at least a majority Direct, that I'm assuming, Nintendo's putting a lot of eggs in this basket, and they're hoping to have it move units. I think they're putting 2 games out this year within 3 weeks of each other, that they're so confident enough that they're giving them their own bundles, which everyone's been asking for a Zelda bundle and we haven't gotten it yet, but right. Mario got a bundle, but I mean, I don't know how many units that moved for them, but this is, I think, going to be a very big deal.
Yeah, I think without looking it up, I think Odyssey is the top selling title on the Switch right now. So at over 10 million units, which is pretty impressive. With Mario Kart, I know right up there close, and Breath of the Wild as well, and Splatoon keeps gaining traction each month as well. So
Yep.
a lot of stuff this week, a lot of news. So it's pretty cool. We have a couple questions we're gonna get to for some talking points here. I'm going to go ahead and read this one here. It says, I have a question for the next Smash Bros. Cast. So you know how Bowser Jr. can be any of the Koopalings. They aren't echoes, just cosmetic variations with the exact same moves. How likely do you think Isabelle's alternative colors could be other Animal Crossing characters? Or do you think they would have mentioned it in the reveal if it was possible? What do you think?
How are the Koopalings shown off? I don't remember. Do you remember? Were they just there?
The problem is I remember the Mario Kart, like Mario Kart and Smash both kind of showing them both off, so I don't remember exactly. But I feel like it was somewhat of an event on, like, you know, at E3 or during a direct. They were all going to be there. Like, it was kind of a big deal.
I mean, I think it could be a very possible. It could be. Yes, I think it can happen. This is what I'm trying to get to. I guess we'll see at this potential next direct. I mean, I think they're going to have a lot to show still on this game. We've gotten to see a little bit more with that dedicated direct. I think the E3 one was kind of here it is, here's everybody, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of us all getting hyped for it. And then the last one was kind of going over more of the stages and more echoes and bringing in different franchises that we hadn't seen. And I think we're going to see just some finer detail stuff on this last direct when we eventually get it. So I think that's maybe where it could be shown off. So it was a very short trailer, and it was kind of a guaranteed kind of piggyback on some kind of other announcement when Smash was going to be in a main direct like that. So I think they will definitely have more to talk about.
I think it's great. They could add all kinds of characters to Isabelle, right? I want to see KK Slider in there, you know, but he's got his guitar and everything, so it'd almost be cool to see him as his own character, you know.
Is he going to break a guitar on you, though?
Who knows? But as far as just like some generic characters from the game, they could easily just make them Echo Fighters to...
I mean, they already have the models kind of drawn, right, from Smashville?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So okay. This one's for you.
Yep.
Okay. You've mentioned your kid a couple of times in the podcast. How do you manage to smash and play other games while raising your kids? Is there a particular age where you had trouble keeping up? Question from a new dad here.
Well, I'm a new dad for the third time as of last week, so I'm kind of back in that boat. I was lucky enough to take a little bit of time off work last week, so I got a little bit of time in, but I am definitely helping out my wife as much as I can. But I think the key to that is having a loving and understanding wife that is not okay with the habit, but understanding of the habit sometimes. Playing games, I play them. I don't necessarily finish them. I have a big library over here, not as big as Josh's backlog, but I have an extensive backlog. And I mean, I have a 5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old as well. My 5-year-old enjoys watching play. He hasn't quite picked up the controller and understood it yet, but he does enjoy watching me play a little bit. So I try to limit that a little bit, but kind of sharing in that with him a little bit. And then the other perk is just being flexible with my job, what I do, and the times I work. So I'm home sometimes while they're napping, trying to fit it in as best I can there. But yeah, that's the biggest thing is when my wife's asleep up on the couch watching TV, I'm down here trying to play games usually.
That's the thing. Like, you pretty much got to give up sleep. If you want your time, you've got to give up sleep. And I mean, so that's going to be a thing. For the longest time, I've been a gamer forever. I married my wife because she was a gamer. Not only because of that, but that was definitely a plus, and so, but there were times that she would literally tell me, go play your games, because there were also other times where I was so addicted that it was like, I'm missing out on things, and this is ridiculous. Right. So I had to make adjustments there. And then I got to the point that she was like, go play. Like, you don't ever play, go play. And I'm like, well, I play when you're asleep. She's like, yeah, but you can play when I'm awake too. Like, it's okay. Like, but we were at that point that she was like, it's okay. Right. That's going to be different for everybody, because I know that there are couples out there that they're like, the guy's wife hates video games and doesn't want him playing it at all. Right. I don't know the solution for that. I don't know the solution for that. Like, try to come up like with some kind of compromise. That's, I mean, And
a 3DS in bed after she falls asleep.
Yeah, whatever the case is. But like, and the other thing is when you are with family, when you're with your wife and kids, with your husband and kids, whatever the case, whoever's playing, be intentional with that time. Be there for that time. Show them that you care about them and this time, and that it's not like, oh, I'd rather be gaming. That's very important. That, like, not only you're like, because now the Switch is on the go. So, I mean, put your phone away. Stay off Twitter. Stay off Discord. Like, just be with your family. Make that quality time, and then have your game time. And if you need to like schedule it out. Like, okay, I'm gaming from after my house is asleep at 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and then get up for work the next day, or whatever the case is. Like, but if you're super addicted, make sure, like, and you got little kids and stuff, like, be there for them. Don't include them. The chat, Joel Mead says, give him a controller that's not hooked up. Do it. I mean, I had my kids playing Halo with me when they were like 2-3 years old. Now my son is a monster at Fortnite because of it. We played through Brawl together. We unlocked characters through Brawl together. They were just little. They were real young, but we just took turns, and it was, it was a ton of fun. So as much as a
test of patience is what it is.
Yeah, and if you're playing Switch, if you're planning on getting Ultimate, there are so many games that can include the entire family that aren't that difficult, even for, you got different Lego games, things like that. So include them in the in your passion, and you never know what will happen there. So
then you'll be surprised by what comes out of their mouth. I have the Smash Ultimate stuff up as my desktop background, and my daughter was down here last night when she should have been in bed, and she was up 2 or 3 times, and I had her come down while I was trying to finish whatever. I think I was playing a game of Fortnite or whatever, and I told her to sit on the chair and wait for me, and I was going to take her and go put her to bed when I was done. And she was pointing at the screen talking about Bowser and Mario and all that kind of stuff. She's just 2.5, but she's been around it enough that she gets it.
No, I've said it on my other shows. My son's first word, like 3-syllable word, was Nintendo, because every time Animal Crossing turned on the GameCube, it would go Nintendo, real high pitched. And he stopped one day, looked at the TV, said Nintendo, and then kept walking. We're like, what? All you've ever said is mom and dad, So it was awesome. But all right, last question here. It says, hey gang, I've been wondering something. These all come from the Discord too. The stage morph option looks super fun, and I'm looking forward to using it when I'm playing with my brothers and whatnot. But I couldn't really wrap my mind around this one part. If you select 2 random stages for stage morph, does that mean you'll bounce between Smashville and Luigi's Mansion? Let's see. If those are the 2 selected stages, or does it mean that you'll be in a random stage every single time? Random stages on a random timer would be so wild.
So from what I understand from what we've seen so far of stage morph, it's you select two. I'm sure possibly random could be an option for that, but I don't think you bounce back and forth. I think it is a up until, I don't know if it's a damage or stock or time kind of indicator, and then it's gonna do its morph thing, and it's gonna change into that stage. And then from what I understand, which is limited and just based on what we've seen in the direct, which is very little on that, is it stays as that second stage. So I think there's a trigger point that causes it to change. I don't think it's just constant back and forth. I think it's first stage for X number of time, X number of damage, X number of stocks, and then it switches.
I'm in agreement. Like, we don't have a ton of info, so I mean, but that's what I'm thinking as well. So, all right, last little bit here. We got some more Smash tips from Scott96. His Twitch is twitch.tv/Scott96. Last week he talked about the neutral game. Okay. And I'm just going to read from his notes here. It says advantage. All right. Wait patiently with a lead, no matter how small. Talking percentages, right? If you're ahead in percentages, wait patiently. Hold shield and react to their options from ledge. Stand still and react to their tech get-ups. Look for roll in on better opponents. Trap the landing frame trap. Take the guaranteed damage and move back to a safe position. Abuse shield and react to run up grabs with spot dodge. Press them into the corner and don't run away when pursuing. Save kill moves until percent threshold they will kill in, or in the situations they are most effective. There's a lot there.
I need to take all of that to heart and use it.
There's a lot
going through
there.
that list. I'm like, yep, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm too aggressive and I don't use shield and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Some of this stuff I have been doing over the last week. I've really worked on my neutral game. I've really been trying to, and I have a bad habit of jumping. I'm still fighting that habit. And
you were doing that a lot this morning.
Dude, part of it is it's so early. Like Monday, I was like, oh man, everything's firing on all cylinders. By this morning, I was like, my brain is goo, right? It's 4 a.m. and I'm trying to just like
Friday's half the time I have to send you a message on Discord to wake up.
Oh, this morning was no better. I had my watch on, which is my alarm. It didn't even go off. I woke up at 3:30 and I'm like, oh, good. I got 10 minutes. 4:30 rolls around. I'm like, I'm supposed to be streaming.
In the blink of an eye. You close your eyes for a second.
Yeah, I'm pouring cold coffee into a Super Nintendo mug and running up to my room to fire up the stream. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit bonkers. But when I'm fresh, I notice that I'm like, the neutral game's better. And obviously it's going to be that for the case for anybody in this kind of situation, but I've just started having more fun with the game. Just like, I'm losing a lot. Here's my routine, guys. I've been talking about I've been wanting to come up with a routine. I start my stream and I jump immediately into training. And I work a few different percentages and I work on a few different moves. So, I need to get the muscle memory for spikes with Mario. And I always pick a random character. So what I noticed this week significantly is that Yoshi is way heavier than you'd think. He is way heavier. Like the distance that he throws, even at high percents, way lower than what I anticipated or what I thought. So I had to adjust to that. So I've been doing different characters each week, and then he's a dinosaur. That's true. Thank you, Joel. So I'll go to the edge, and I was working on spikes. That's really what I worked on a lot on Monday. I worked on spikes. Okay, and I'm talking like after 70% down throw, short hop, half hop, spike. Then I was like, okay, I want to start mixing. I want to mix flood into the mix here at low percentages. So I would do either a like a back throw to flood, and then you can almost see exactly where they're going to be because they've already wasted their jump. So at that point, I was jumping in and getting the spikes even at a lower percentage. And that was the last thing I started doing was like, I want to see, and I was getting spikes around like 24% or lower. And at one point I did one character jump back up to the stage and made the ledge. But for the most part, they ended up being kills. And so, and you know what brought this on? I played against a Mario that literally tried to spike me every opportunity he could. And I went, you know what? I don't throw it enough. Not that I want it to be, his was completely obvious. You could tell that it was coming. It was constantly coming. But I'm like, I don't throw it at all because I'm too afraid of missing. And I just need to be okay with missing so that I can continue to improve with it. And so jump up, play training, and then I've jumped into for glory. And I'm getting beat. A lot of times I set my goal to try to get at least one stock, right? There's a few people that I was able to, I have been able to beat altogether. Sometimes I get annoyed when they SD and then I end up winning because I'm like, that's not the way I want to win. Like I want to win because I took them out both times.
Bro stock them in.
Yeah, that's frustrating. But I've been having so much fun just seeing the improvement. I know my movement with Mario still needs so much improvement, and so I'm really trying to get my inputs better, right? And the next thing, so here's the thing, and then Crawler, you can take it from here. But like, what has happened is as I've started playing daily, I'm starting to pick up on more just little things, and we're going to start focusing. I said we're going to start looking at more neutral game, and then even Scott's tip from last week was focus on frame data, and I'm starting to notice like I can start to see what moves. Not every time. That's not like Neo in the Matrix, but I'm like that's punishable. That's what I'm starting to pick up on. Like, oh, if that whiffs, that's a punishable move. Even if it's just a split second, like a frame or two. That's still a punishable move if I see that again. And that's been very helpful as well.
Yeah, I don't remember what I think I went back because I wasn't awake for your streams earlier this week, but I think I did go back and watch some of them. I think there was one of them, a Mario or somebody you were facing that was just spamming their spot dodge or air dodge a little bit, and you were talking about it to stream, and you were, I think, trying to exploit it a little bit just because he was over spamming it just a little too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just being able to start to pick up. And stream's been awesome. We've had different people come in, and they're like, just giving me pointers, right? Which usually backseat gaming, I'm like, please don't. But when it comes to Smash, I'm like, no, I need advice. Like, I need pointers. Like, and as long as I can
Smash and Xenoblade, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. As long as I understand what they're talking about. And that's the other thing. I really focused this last week on trying to work more on the lingo of just like understanding what each move is and what it's called, right? It kind of just opens the game up because when you're listening to commentary and things like that, you know exactly what's going on, right? And again, I mean, I it's been clear since the show started, like, we are beginners when it comes to this stuff. And the whole point of this is for us to give you guys the news and to improve, and hopefully you can improve alongside us. And it's been awesome seeing the Discord and the hype and people saying, oh, I'm playing on 3DS and, things like that. So that's really the point. Did you have any breakthroughs at all this week for you or anything?
I streamed just a short stream on Wednesday night. I think that's the only time I booted it up this week with just the craziness of kids and needing to run and help when I needed to. But I did stream just a few games of For Glory on Wednesday night, and wasn't the best matches of For Glory that I've ever had. There's sometimes that I go in there and I've taken 2 or 3 against one opponent, and then I'll be the one to leave, and I don't force them out. But after I've beat them a few times, then I'm good to go. But if I continue losing, sometimes I'll stick in there and I try to stick with it just a little bit. And I've been trying to mix it up a little bit. I've picked up Peach a few times, trying to use her. I haven't been able to get any of those down kicks landing like I'd like to yet, but I've been having a little bit of fun with Peach. But still kind of just sticking with Corrin, trying to work on those, just getting those pins and working on dealing damage up, just because I know she doesn't have quite the true combos. I definitely need to work on shielding and grabbing a little bit more. But I feel a lot more confident, at least coming back to the edge, understanding the distance that I have for like the up B recovery and second jumps and all that kind of stuff. I'm feeling a lot more confident about that. So
I'll be real. It's a little tough streaming Smash because I know how much I need to get better at it. And so like sometimes you just want to learn like in a bubble
in your own hole,
like, yeah, like without, cause it's just with you stream it, you're just putting out, you're like, hey, here it is. I suck. You guys get to watch.
I suck. Yep. You should just put that on your
my title,
the title, and then just get that in your OBS. Just it can flash like I suck.
Oh, I have some really good ideas for stuff for OBS, but I'm glad I took the plunge and just said, you know what, screw it. I don't care that I'm not as good as I want to be. I'm not going to get there if I don't do this. And so the goal is that to put enough time into 4 to become a competent enough Mario player that when Ultimate comes out, we can have some entertaining streams and some really, really good battles with the community. That's really what I want to see happen. So I think that's going to do it for this one. So where can we find you, bud?
You guys can find me on Twitter, Nightcrawler724, Nightcrawler without the E. Like I said, also streaming sometimes, twitch.tv/Nightcrawler724. And then the most prevalent area is hanging out in Josh's Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. Come hang out. Tell us you came from here. Lots of people to welcome you, lots of people to play Smash with, lots of people to talk just general Nintendo, anything else, Smash, Destiny, Xbox, anything. So come hang out.
The music you're hearing right now is the Metal Melee theme. You can check it out by going to n64josh.com/Metal Melee. If you want to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/SBC. Pick up something awesome like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. The chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. If you go to n64josh.com/OP Seat, you automatically save $10 at checkout. I love these chairs, and I was just interviewed for their podcast that I just got an email while we were recording. It's now live on iTunes and all that stuff. It's also on YouTube, so however you consume your content, go check it out. It was a really, really good time for me. I really enjoyed being on the other side of the mic and being interviewed. So make sure to check it out. And we just in chat, Mars just said I actually came over from your interview. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter at N64Josh. The show notes for this episode can be found at n64josh.com/SBC26. Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. Come hang out, guys. You can also follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to put out a lot of content there as well. So that's N64Josh. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next one.